5 stupid tips for creating a wild grass in Blender, and I'm Gleb Alexandrov. This will be kind of a tips and tricks. And here is the render. I made it using the Grass Essentials pack by Andrew Price. And actually I had so much fun using this pack, so I recommend it to everybody. If you're making grass renders, try it out. So let's talk about using a particle textures to control distribution pattern. And personally, I think that's the single most important thing in creation of the grass, is the pattern. Here you can see how procedural noise is affecting the density and the length of the particles, and it looks natural. And here you can see the result when I disabled it, and it looks simply boring. And let's see one more time how particle texture affects the density of the particles. What it does, it creates variation in our particle system, and nature is so chaotic and has so much variation that we need to use something like particle textures. And the second thing is a huge simulation depends on a tiny grass blade. Indeed, the quality of the final simulation depends pretty much on what object are you distributing. For example, these grass model have a secondary particle system enabled for each grass blade, and that makes the whole simulation looks very full and furry, hairy. And that's what we need. We can distribute less objects and still retain the look of a dense, very large field. Okay, and let's move on to the ground texture. It still matters, even if it's barely visible. What I find interesting is no matter how dense your particle system is, the underlying texture will be visible anyway, no matter what you do. So I'd want to encourage you to spend some time tweaking a ground material, applying some procedural noises and something along these lines. And the number 4, translucency, is a must-have when you're creating a grass, especially when sun is shining from behind the objects. If you're striving to make a realistic render of the grass field, pay attention to translucency in your shaders. Of course, this same principle is true not only in the case of grass, but also if you're making trees and all these nature objects. Okay, and the next step is to randomize everything. As I have said, nature is chaotic. To be able to simulate it, we need to be chaotic too. So don't hesitate to distribute some weird objects alongside with your grass. For example, in this render, I have thrown in some branches or whatever it is. Random, my friend. Alright, that's it. I hope it will be useful for you in grass creation, and feel free to share these stupid tips with other Blender nerds, and thank you so much. I'm Gleb Alexandrov, and we will see you the next time.